Children, how you guys doing? Hope you guys doing great. Hope, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I don't know when you guys are gonna look at this, but hope you guys do well. First thing I want to talk to you guys about real quickly is the exam yesterday, the little assessment, meiosis and genetic assessment. Only got 39 responses, so I'm missing about 40, 50 of y'all. So if you haven't done that yet and you're looking at this video, you need to go back and do that, okay? Go back and do that right now. Get it done. Let's go. Moving on. If you have done that, well, welcome. Stick with me. All right, here we go. Today we're going to learn something really cool today. We're going to learn about evolution. Okay, we're only going to do half today, and then I'll do the other half tomorrow. There will be a quiz at the end of this, all right? Now, evolution, all right? So here's my disclaimer. Some of you guys may not believe in evolution or what I'm going to talk to you about today. Some of you guys may believe that there's other explanations for how we got here today, and that's okay. You're more than welcome to believe in that. My job is to talk to you about what science believes our history is, okay? If you believe in something else, totally cool, no worries, no problem. But when it comes to assignments, the answers are in here, okay? Just want to let you know that, but you're more than welcome to believe something else, okay? So, pop quiz. We're in the year 2020. How old is the Earth? Give you 5 seconds. Tell me how old the Earth is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should have said 4.5 billion years. That's a long time. We're a little speck. Think about that. 4.5 billion years old. Okay, isn't that nuts? It's old. How many years ago was the first organism? Let's remind ourselves. Organism is any living thing. Okay, so how many years ago was the first organism created? You should have said 3.5 billion years ago. So for about a billion years, it was just a planet by itself, okay, just chilling. And then organisms created. Mr. Dillo, but what was that very first organism that was created? Well, good thing you asked. What do you guys think it was? Was it a human? Was it a dog? Was it a bird? The very first organism was a type of bacteria, okay? And once again, bacteria are very simple, okay? They lack a nucleus, good, no nucleus. All bacteria are prokaryotic, all prokaryotes are bacteria, okay? So moving on, how many of you guys have seen this illustration right here? Okay, so we have our little chimp and it gets taller, stands up into man right there, right? What is this really trying to depict to us? Okay, what is this trying to show? For me, it's making it look that's very like just linear, right? This turns into this turns into this turns into this. But this is absolutely wrong, okay? Incorrect, okay? Evolution more looks like this, okay? Let me move this down over here. Evolution looks like this, is that it's a lot of things. It's more of a tree than it is a line. It's not this leads to this, A equals B, B equals C, anything like that. This is more of a branching tree. And if you look at it, evolution isn't entirely about how life is created, first and foremost, okay? But if we're looking at this right here, it's showing us that all life came from a common ancestor. That's really what evolution is trying to show us. And if we look at this idea that, how many have you heard this, oh, we evolved from chimps, so why are chimps here? Well, we didn't evolve from chimps. Chimps are right here, we are right here. We evolved from the same common ancestor, okay? And this means that we have a relative many years ago, millions of years ago, that was the same. It's like you and your cousins. You and your cousins have a common ancestor, your grandparents, right? That's how that works. Because look here, here's present day. Chimps are here. We follow this all the way. Homo sapiens are here, okay? So we're both here on present day. We evolved, all right? This is 6 million years ago. Something happened. Boosh. This chain led to the chimps. Our ancestry comes this way. Something happens here, boom, we have that organism. Okay, we follow it, boom, breaks off again. Boom, breaks off again. Boom, Homo habilis. Boom, Homo erectus. Okay, this means that they were walking upright. Chill out. Boom, okay, Homo neanderthals, also known as the cavemen. And then us right here, boom, okay. We didn't come from cavemen. Cavemen are a relative of us, okay? That's what that means. So this chart is wrong. This is more accurate, okay? Big thing, guys. If you see a question and one of the answer choices is common ancestor, pick it if you have no idea, pick it because it's most likely going to be the answer. Okay. So what is the common ancestor of all dogs? What do you guys think? Okay. What do you think? Dogs just weren't here. There weren't dogs with the dinosaurs. Okay. So what do you guys think was the common answer? All dogs evolved from what organism? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. We have the little puggy, the bulldog, looks like a Bernard, okay, husky, okay, that one, the Saluka, I think it is, or something like that. All right. So I'm gonna do a little, what's that, a Pomeranian? He's a cute. All right. So if you would guess that all dogs, evolved from a gray wolf. Okay. So gray wolves are old. We still have gray wolves now. All right. But how the heck did we get from a gray wolf to a pug? Okay. You're trying to tell me that this pug is related to this? You're trying to tell me that this pug came from that? Yeah, we did. And just like when we talked about genetics, guys, some traits we like, some traits we don't. Okay. Can we predict, flower traits, color traits? Yeah, we did that with the Punnett squares, right? We could say we took a white flower and we bred it with another white flower. Most likely we're going to get white flowers. Same thing with dogs, okay? Dogs, some dogs are short, some dogs are skinny, some dogs' fur is short, some dogs' fur is long. And we can breed them to get what we wanted. We get rid of the bad traits, we keep the good traits. That's how we did this. But once again, this isn't like in a day, a year. This is millions of years, all right? So let's do some definitions. This is going to be a lot of definitions, guys, but you're okay. So evolution means to change over time. That is just not even necessarily a science word, guys. That's just a general English word. To evolve means to change over time. For instance, cell phones. How have cell phones evolved? Okay, they've gotten smaller, bigger. They can fit in your back pocket. They got internet now. At one time, guys, cell phones actually had this thing called a cord, and you had to have the cord, and it's crazy. Good time. You guys don't know. All right. And so we look here at the modern horse. So this is our horsey we have today. But this isn't what it evolved from. It evolved from this guy over here, Eohippus. This little dude here. And he's like 0.4 meters. So he's like half of a meter stick tall. Okay? Not very tall at all. Man. Literally like probably that big. Okay? Dogs are bigger. But over millions and millions of years, you can see 60 million years. Okay? This is when this one was around to now. All right? That it changed. It got bigger. Okay, it got a little longer. You can see that its feet, toes kind of went away, right? And just became kind of these hooves, all right? And so for some reason, it had to evolve. It had to change over time. So next question is this, is what does it take to evolve? How does one thing change over time? Does it just make a decision, be like, I'm going to grow wings? No, okay? First thing is that in order for an organism to evolve, it has to occur in a population. Let's remember, a population is the same species in the same area, okay? So it has to be the same cows, okay? It can't be cows and dogs, just cows. It has to be a population, a group of them. It can't be one thing, one organism changing. It has to occur with a bunch of them. It must create beneficial genetic variation. Oh, Master Del, there's 3 words and they're really long. It's okay. What is the word beneficial? Benefits. If it's benefiting you, that means it's good. So good. You can just change the word from beneficial to good. Genetic are genes. Remember the word variation. What does the word variation means? Variation just means differences. Differences. Okay? So these are good genetic differences. All right? Good genetic traits, good genetic differences. We'll talk more about that later. And how do we do this? By sexually reproducing or mutations, okay? So what the heck are beneficial genetic traits or variations? These are traits that increase an organism's chance of surviving and reproducing. Beneficial genetic variation are traits that increase an organism's chance of surviving, okay? Being able to run faster, being stronger, having better vision, okay? Having venom, those are all beneficial traits, okay? Organisms with beneficial traits are more fit, okay? They're more fit, which basically means they have a better chance of surviving, okay? So let's look at this big definition, natural selection, okay? Do you agree with this statement? Organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and reproduce more offspring. Would you agree with that? Organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and reproduce more offspring. I would agree with that. You're trying to tell me that organisms that have better adaptations with the environment they live in will most likely survive and reproduce. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That is called natural selection. Okay, okay, that's the difference between like a snow bunny, white fur, living in the desert versus in the Antarctic. Okay, it's better adapted for the Arctic where it's white and blends in versus the desert where it's not going to blend in as well. Okay, this is called natural selection. Better adapted organisms will survive and reproduce. Okay, so let's look at natural selection in giraffes. Okay, if you didn't know, giraffes didn't always have that long neck. They didn't. Okay, once again, let's remind ourselves: adaptation, any inherited characteristic that increases a chance of survival. Okay, so an adaptation is anything that increases. So for a snake, venom. For a rabbit, having strong legs to run, or having good hearing. For an owl, really good vision at night. Those are all good adaptations. So if we look at this, but many, many years ago, giraffes had differences in necks. Okay, some were short necks, some were really long necks, and some were medium necks. Okay, this is how it was. I'm not telling you a story. This is the truth. Okay, so some individuals born happen to have longer necks due to genetic variations. Okay, but look what happens to their food source. Okay, over time, we lose food here. So if we look here, guys, can this giraffe eat in this environment? No, it can't reach the food. Can this giraffe eat in this environment? No, it can't reach the food. And if you didn't know this, if you don't eat, you end up what? Dying. Okay? The only giraffes that were possible were the long-necked giraffes. They were able to eat the food. So over time, what's eventually going to happen to these short and medium-necked giraffes? They're going to die off, okay? And when they die off, what else dies off with them? Their genes, their traits. They're not making any babies. So those short-necked genes, those medium-necked genes, they're going away. They're not in the population anymore. All that's left are giraffes with long necks that have that long neck gene, and they're left to breed, have babies, and their babies are going to have long necks. So over time, they evolved from having short necks to long necks. That is evolution. That is a good trait helping them survive in the environment. Okay? And once again, it has to occur with all the different organisms. It has to occur in the population, not just one simple organism. Okay? Let's look at this one. What adaptation does the porcupine have? Well, if you're saying these little spiky thingies, which I'm assuming, these are also called quills. Q-I-L, quills. And these are a really good adaptation because the tiger, or the lion, has to know that if it tries to eat this and it gets poked in the eye, it's pretty much done for. You can get an infection and die. If this porcupine didn't have these quills, it most likely wouldn't survive. Okay, they would go extinct. But this is a good adaptation. Obviously, porcupines with longer quills will survive, have a better chance of surviving than porcupines with maybe shorter quills or dull quills. Okay. So what happens, So what happens when we get these adaptations and evolutions? Well, what happens is we create a new species sometimes. It's a little different. Okay, just like with the dogs. Okay, the wolf and a dog aren't the same, but when we created a new species, we call that speciation. Everyone say speciation on two. 1, 2. Good. We can look at our bears here. They're all bears, but they're a little different, right? We have our ancestral bear, probably a cave bear, if anything, big old bear right there. 30 million years ago, something happened. The food, it had to adapt because of the food, the weather, the climate. Some went off to become the giant pandas that only eat bamboo, okay? These went over here, okay? Maybe it was where they're at, okay? These are mainly in Asia. Bears, these are over here in America. And then things happen. Boom, they branch off here. Boom, boom. We have our brown bear, okay? Our American black bear, our polar bear. They're all a little different. Why do you guys think the polar bear is white? Because of where it lives. It lives in a climate that's white, okay? Where the brown bear lives in like a forest area, okay? Black bear lives in like the forest, darker, helps it survive better, okay? A black bear is not going to do very well in the Antarctic, okay? So we're going to stop here today. We're going to finish it tomorrow. I'm going to give you evidence of this. Why do we believe this? All right. So there's a quick quiz. Knock it out. Hope you have a great day. And that's all I got because I only got 15 minutes. Bye, guys.